Assalamu alaikum. This is Marjina Akhtar Reba, lecturer, Department of Business Administration, Asian University of Bangladesh. Today we are going to discuss on a course entitled with Operations Research, course code MBA 6466. And today's topic is game theory. Let's start with the story of game theory. Game theory was pioneered by Princeton mathematician John von Neumann. Game theory is the science of strategy. It attempts to determine mathematically and logically the actions that players should take to secure the best outcome for themselves in a wide array of games. The games is it studies range of chess to child rearing, from tennis to takeovers. But the games all share the common feature of interdependence. That is, the outcome for each participant depends on the choices of strategies. In so-called zero-sum game, the interests of the players conflict totally, so that one player's gain always is another's loss. Let's start out by defining a few terms commonly used in game theory. First of all, we will learn about game. Any set of circumstances that has a result depends on the action of two or more decision makers. Next, we should learn about players. A strategic decision maker within the context of game is a player. In general, the person who or she takes the decision is a player. Game value. The desirability of length, often in respect to some property such as usefulness or exchangeability, worth, merit, or importance. Payoff. The payoff a player receives from arriving at a particular outcome. The payoff can be any quantifiable form from dollars to utility. Strategy. A complete plan of action a player will take given a set of circumstances that might arise within the game. Strategy types. It is the predetermined rule by which a player decides his course of action. In game theory, there are two types of strategies. Number one, pure strategy, and number two, mixed strategy. Now we should learn about pure and mixed strategies. Pure strategy. In a pure strategy, players adopt a strategy that provides the best payoff. In other words, a pure strategy is the only one strategy that provides maximum profit or best outcome to players. Therefore, it is regarded as the best strategy for every player of the game. Now we will learn about mixed strategy. In a mixed strategy exists in a strategic game when the player does not choose one definite action, but rather choose according to a probability distribution over his actions. Player choose more than one strategy to get maximum profit or best outcome. Information set. the information available at given point in the game. The term information set is the most usually applied when the game has a sequential component. Equilibrium. The point in a game where both players have made their decision and outcome is reached. Now we will learn about a special type of game that is known as zero-sum game. Zero-sum game is a situation in game theory in which one person's gain is equivalent to another's loss. So the net change in the wealth or benefit is zero. A zero-sum game may have as few as two players or millions of participants. Zero-sum games are found in the game theory but are less common than non-zero-sum games. Poker and gambling are popular examples of zero-sum games since the sum of the amounts owned by some player equal to the combined losses of the others. Games like chess or tennis, where there is only one winner and only one loser, are also zero-sum games. In the financial market, options and futures are examples of zero-sum game. Now let's talk about the importance of applying game theory in business. Making business decision is a daily event for a manager. They are always faced with a decision on what to produce, what to procure, and what to sell, followed by the decision on how much they should spend in producing or procuring and what price they should set when they sell. There are so many tools used to come up with decisions, and one of the tools is game theory. Number one, to reduce business risk. Simulations have been employed by business managers in their risk analysis methodologies. Applying game models is effective in determining equilibrium with the market. Risk analysis market uses game theory to determine the optimal price strategy, expected market shares, expected income, and number of customers while obtaining information about the company, the market, the competitors, and technologies in use, among others. To obtain insight regarding the competition and the overall competitive landscape of the business and the industry. One of the best way to competitive is to know your competition. Using game theory is very effective in getting information on the various factors related to competitiveness competitiveness of the business. The core address the question, what are my rivals or opponents thinking? They want to know what their competitors' next movies, their motivations, their strategies, their strength, their weakness, and use. All this information to change the game and increase the value of their own business proposition. To improve internal decision making process. By playing out business scenarios, companies become more confident in their decisions and management is more inclined to have greater involvement in the internal decision-making process. Business manager must be, be aware, however, of how they use game theory. It is not management tool that they can use as a substitute for experience in business. Thank you all for joining the class.